بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. Alright, so hadith number 36. It's only one person.
37.
No, 36. Remember.
Oh yeah. عن أنس رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الله لا يرضى عن العبد إذا يأكل الأكلة فيحمده عليها وأن يشرب الشربة فيحمده عليها رواه مسلم.
Anybody else?
مجاهد أسد.
No, Mujahid wasn't here. Were you here yesterday? You were here.
نعم بس ما كنت في الموضوع ما هو
Yeah, put the chocolate away, man. It's not the time for that. We're in the class. Yeah. All right. So بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال المؤلف غفر الله له ولأولاده. All right, the most beloved actions. All right, this hadith, for the people that probably follow the classes online, you'll know that this hadith is the same. It's actually the same hadith that we took this morning after Fajr for the lesson in the abridged and the Mukhtasar of Sahih Bukhari. So it's like, mashallah, literally on the same day, we're taking the same hadith twice. So alhamdulillah. And Aisha radiallahu anha and the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and actually this kind of backs up what I said in the morning. And you'll see, because there was a different narration in Bukhari, and I told Saif, I said, that's not the narration that I memorized, because I kept saying it wrong. And this is the narration that I memorized. And so now for the people that listen to the lesson in Bukhari, now they understand why I was saying what I was saying, inshallah. So, أن عائشة رضي الله عنها أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم دخل عليها وعندها امرأة قال من هذه؟ قالت هذه فلانة تذكر من صلاتها قال ما عليكم ما تطيقون فوالله لا يمل الله حتى تملوا وكان أحب الدين إليه ما داوم صاحبه عليه متفق عليه. All right. So an Aisha, so this is reported in Aisha radiallahu anha, and when she said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he entered into her hujra, to her house. There was a woman, and she was that was there, called it man hadi, and then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, who is this? Who is this lady? Called it here fulana. All right, and it's kind of funny because I'm sitting here gonna say this exact same thing that I said this morning. All right, and fulana, the word fulan is just used in the Arabic language for a person if you do not want to mention their name. So fulan is just like, John Doe. You don't want to mention the person's name, or maybe you don't know the person's name, or whatever the case may be. So you just say, yeah, fulan. Or maybe it's like oh yeah, I'm talking about fulan. Oh, fulan, yeah, fulan. So it could be used in different types of ways, But it's basically you don't want to mention the person's name. So she said, fulana, this woman. تذكر من صلاتها, and she's mentioning the type of salat that she does, because she really goes to extremes in her ibadah. So the Prophet ﷺ said, Ma is like, أخفف عن هذا, like stop with this, عليكم بما تطيقون, it's upon you to take on the actions that you are capable of doing. For wallahi, and then he said, I swear by Allah, la yamallu Allahu hatta tamallu. And malala, the word malla yamallu, malalatan, it means to become bored or tired with something. So you're not interested in it anymore, right? So what happens now when a person starts to take on a lot of different acts of worship that they're not capable of maintaining, and doing on a regular basis? What happens to them? Yeah, they get bored with it. They get fed up, they get burnt out, and then they leave it off. And then they generally go back to being more lazy than they were before. Because a lot of the times this happens with people, again, as I mentioned in the class in Fajr, people, they listen to like a muhadara, or they go and they see a sheikh, and the sheikh's giving a muhadara. They get all hyped up, and then they want to go home, and they start, I'm going to fast every day for the rest of the year. And, they get all... Hamasi, and I don't mean Hamasi like, I don't mean the group in Palestine. I don't mean Hamasi like, the actual meaning in the word Arabic language, which means zealous. Hamas, it means zealousness. Like you're real fired up to do something.
Oh, more.
It's just like really, you just like, I'm gonna pray, I'm gonna fast, I'm gonna read Quran, I'm gonna do this every day, and then what happens 2 weeks from now? He probably ain't even waking up for Fajr. You know what I'm saying? So he burned himself out. He doesn't even want to do anything anymore. So that's what the Prophet ﷺ said, alaykum bima tutiqun. You take on the actions of what you're capable of doing regularly. Regularly. You start off with small amounts and then you start to what? You gradually increase until you can start to handle more and more and more and more. If you try to, live out, this happens to a lot of people that know Arabic and they can read the biographies of the Salaf, because a lot of these biographies, they don't really have them in English that much. So you go and you read some of the biographies of the Salaf, and what does it make you want to do? You want to do everything that you're reading, right? I want to memorize Alf Hadith and with the chains and narrations and all this, but you haven't even memorized Arba'in an-Nawawiyya right now. But now you're hyped up to memorize Bukhari, but you still haven't memorized Bulugh al-Maram. So no, you take on step by step. Everything is about, you start with small bits of knowledge, and you increase gradually. Same thing with the actions, So this is the point, that once you become bored and fed up with the actions, you're burnt out, you stop, you leave the actions. So what happens now is that you become bored, you left the action, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala left giving you the reward. You're not getting the reward anymore. So now, la yamallu Allahu hatta what? Tamallu. So once you become disinterested in the action and you pull out of the action, you're like, I'm done, I'm finished, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm burnt out. And that's when your reward stops, because now you're not getting the reward anymore.
Can you explain again? The Prophet said meh. What does that mean again?
Like ukfuf and had.
Like stop that?
Stop, yeah.
Oh.
Stop with this.
Oh.
Meh. It's kind of like used for like disapproval. Like she said, oh, she prays like this. Meh. Like, no, stop with this. And then you went in, like to let her know that this is not the right way of doing things. So وَكَانَ أَحَبُّ الدِّينِ إِلَيْهِ مَا دَاوَمَ صَاحِبُهُ عَلَيْهِ. So وَكَانَ أَحَبُّ الدِّينِ إِلَيْهِ إِلَى مَنْ؟
Or to Allah.
It's to Allah.
Allah, yeah. وَكَانَ أَحَبُّ الدِّينِ إِلَيْهِ.
Yeah. أَحَبُّ الدِّينِ إِلَيْهِ مَا دَاوَمَ صَاحِبُهُ عَلَيْهِ. So this is the part where I told you the people that listen in the morning will understand, because in the narration that's in Sahih Bukhari, he said, وَكَانَ أَحَبُّ الدِّينِ إِلَيْهِ مَا دَامَ صَاحِبُهُ عَلَيْهِ. So I kept reading it with my dawama, and then the safe was like, it's my dama, huh? And then I looked, I was like, yeah, it is my dama, because I'm reading out, I'm just going out of my memory. I wasn't, even though I'll be looking at the book, but I'm not reading from the book. I just, but this is the narration, my dawama sahibuhu alayhi. All right, muttafaqun alayhi. This hadith is in Bukhari and it's in Muslim. So the most beloved deen to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most perpetual, is the most consistent, the most persistent, the what the person constantly does on a regular basis. The things that you do regularly, even, and that's in the other narration. What did he say? He said, وَإِنْ قَلَّ. Even if the actions are small or few in number, but you consistently do them every day. So imagine, okay, you hear a muhadara about memorizing the Quran, so now you want to start reading 5 juz a day, and start, but you're not even accustomed to reading the Quran every day, aslan, even a juz a day. So, or reading hadith every day. You want to start, I'm going to read Bukhari every 3 months. No, you're not. If you might finish it in 3 months, but then what happens is what? You're burnt out, you're done. You probably never pick up Bukhari again for the rest of your life. So the point is that you take it and, instead of trying to like say, okay, I'm going to read Bukhari every 3 months, or every month, or every 2 months. To read Bukhari every 3 months, you know how much you have to read every single day? Try to do the math.
60 hadiths a day?
I mean, you have to read about an hour a day. More than an hour a day to finish not the Quran, but to finish Bukhari in 3 months. More than an hour a day. How long do you think a person who's not even accustomed to reading hadith at all, even one hadith a day, how long do you think he's going to be able to keep that up?
500.
Huh?
Maybe 3 days.
Maybe a day. Maybe the first day he's like, I'm done. He's probably got laryngitis tomorrow. He can't even talk if he's reading out loud. It depends if he's reading quietly, if he's reading out loud. But nah, man, that's if you can finish Bukhari once a year, read a couple of hadiths a day, two hadiths a day, and just do it every single day and finish Bukhari within like a year's time.
Since we're talking about this, can I tell you what happened to me too?
Mm.
I remember when I first wanted to start, what's it called? Being accustomed to reading the Quran. I tried to read, well, this was way back then, like in 2022. I just tried to read Surah Al-Nahl, one go. And then by the time I reached to the second to last page, I couldn't talk. Because I just read it in a loud voice. And then my voice started to choke up because I wasn't so accustomed to just reading for...
No, it's only one juice though.
Yeah, no, because reading out loud and being consistent. But that was...
I said, come downstairs.
What?
I said, come downstairs.
And when we finish this class?
So that was but that's obviously changed. Now I could probably read 5 in one go.
Yeah, I mean, because you gotta little by little. I remember the first time. It wasn't the first time. The last time that I was locked up, but that was like the last time I was locked up. I got really into working out. So the first time I remember, the first day I said, I went outside, I said, I'm gonna do sets of 20 push-ups until I can't. I have 500 in my head. I gotta do 500. 500 has always been a number that's been stuck in my head for push-ups. Then when I found out the people in Mauritania, they used to read every page 500 times and it became my memorization thing. So, and I went out there and I think I got to 90 and I collapsed on the ground. I did 20, then I did 20, 4 sets. And then on the last set, I said, let me just get 100. I couldn't even finish it. On the 90th push-up, I just collapsed. I collapsed, but then I was like, all right, come back, rest tomorrow, come back the day after tomorrow, come back the day after tomorrow, come back the day after tomorrow. By the time I got out of jail, I was doing 700. So I would sit there and I would walk out and walk around the basketball court, 20 push-ups, walk around, 20 push-ups, 20 push-ups. And I would do that for hours, hours and hours and hours, even to the point, where it's just like push-ups were just like drinking water. But that's the same thing with memorization. It's the same thing with anything that you do, whether it's physical, whether it's academic, whether it's spiritual, as they say. I don't like the word spirit because spiritual means what?
Like a jinn.
Yeah, it involves jinn, yeah.
Not a jinn, but yeah, it does.
It involves jinn. It's a spirit. A spirit is a jinn, and that's why Sprite, the drink, is a small jinni.
Really?
Yes, that's the meaning of it. Sprite is a small jinn. It's a small spirit.
But it's still permissible by spirit, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of an evil name, though.
Yes.
But then again, they got water that's called liquid death nowadays, and people drink that. So, yeah, so it's like, what are you worried about a jinni drink now? You're drinking liquid death, but or like C4, It's like, so there you go. But he quit that, right?
He quit. I made him say, say Wallah is your last one. It's because he kept going against his word. He was like, didn't you say this was your last one? He said, no, this was my last one. I was like, say Wallah, this is your last one. Because I care about him. I care about his health. Because, you're killing yourself. You're drinking 3 a day. This is suicide.
Yeah, it is.
Slow. I was like, you got to stop. I don't want to be at your funeral because you want to stop drinking C4s.
Yeah, but back to, the main thing is, with anything, you have to what? You gotta stay consistent and build and build and build and build. And then over time, khalas, even when I was in the match, I was still doing like 300 something push-ups regularly. I was just, because I wasn't busy, I would do like 300 push-ups and 100 pull-ups, even when I was in the match. So, you just staying consistent. Right now, I can't do 100 push-ups and 10 pull-ups. Hold on, sorry.
That reminds me, we were talking about the punching bag.
Yeah.
No, you're talking about work, just going all out. We were at, remember how I told you there was a pool party? So in the shed, there's a punching bag. And the brother Yusuf, he was like, yeah, let's go. He went off on the punching bag for 30 straight seconds. He's just going on, and after he's like, and he just sat down next to him.
No, the punching bag's no joke, man. And even worse than that is the focus mitts. You know, if you get somebody that holds those mitts for you, and you know, you see a minute, and your toe stuff. You know, it takes a lot of cardiovascular energy. It's more than cardiovascular energy because you have to be able to keep punching and punching even when you're tired, even when you're breathing. You know, you got to control your breathing. There's a lot that goes into that. You know, so and you just get on those focus mitts for a minute. So like, you know, it's man, that will kill you. That will wear you out, even if you're healthy. You know, if you run and everything, you gotta build up strength to that. You know, so and then overall, then once you can hit them, you know, hit those focus mitts for like 3 minutes with a 1 minute break, you start, you know, you see. Then you get into a street fight, and the other dude will be, you know, that's what it's gonna happen to him. If you get into a street fight, you see in 10, 20 seconds, he's done. He's finished. He's let's stop. No, stop, dude. We're just about to get started. You know, it's like this show just, I was waiting for this to start. I was waiting for you to lose your energy now. And that's why I like to do the heavy bag after doing the push-ups and doing everything. So that's why I was saying the other day, was it yesterday? Not today, it was yesterday. I rode the bike for 7 miles and then did push-ups, then did the dumbbell presses. Then I went out and hit the punching bag. Why do you do that?
Because when you're tired, you have no force.
You want to make yourself and push yourself to keep trying to hit with energy, hit with power, even when you're tired, even when your muscles are just like exhausted and you're done, your legs, because you're on a bike for 7 miles. You got your punching strength comes from your legs. It doesn't come from your arms. So now if your legs are tired, you're going to start to feel it. So every time that you're punching, you know, your breathing is just going to become more and more labored. So even like after, I would only do it for a minute and rest a minute, then a minute and rest. After a minute, I'm about to pass out. And I'm like this. I'm like, I got to sit down, drink some water, get back up and do it again, you know? So yeah, I mean, but you build yourself up gradually. You'd be surprised at what you can do, how much you can memorize, how much you can revise, how much you can keep in your memory, how much you can read, and how much you can read at one time as you start to just gradually build it up. And stop drinking coffee. Because that's the one thing I noticed, man. If I stop drinking coffee, I can sit down and read 10 juice like that. If I drink coffee, I can 3 juice, and I felt like I just like lifted a car. Seriously, it's something about the coffee and the reading and the nerves and something I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Any more questions? سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.